Welcome to the Your Company Health podcast. I'm Andre Wright, your host. The podcast is brought to you by the new book, Visibility Digital Marketing the Right Way. You can grab it on Amazon or at andrewright.com. Today we have a special guest, my friend Joe Lemon, healthcare connector and co founder of Myosight. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Man, Andre, man, I'm pumped to be on the show with you. And man, honestly, it's been great just kind of getting to know you over the past couple months now, man. So I'm excited to kind of have a quick conversation.
Same here, man. Same here. Just a breath of fresh air meeting you at that conference, man. And we just hit it off. And I know you're very passionate about healthcare, and that's why we wanted to talk to you. Wanted to bring you on the show today. So just to jump in and get things going, Joe, want you to tell us your story and how did you get into healthcare and why this field?
Yeah, man, 100%. So, many moons ago, I was a personal trainer when I was going to college, and I was all about aesthetics and just trying to look good, of course, right? This is back whenever I actually looked decent and I was single, so that stuff mattered. but like, man, honestly, what really drove me into it was my family got sick. So my sister's type 1 diabetic, my dad's type 2 diabetic, high blood pressure all throughout my family, and I felt like I had to go past just having like a straight six pack and doing that. So I ran a pretty decent sized personal training business for several years here out of Atlanta. We had trainers all over the city, and it was like herding cats. And they would go out and do boot camps. And they would have things that they did out at like small parks and HOA places. And honestly, after doing that and not really having a good system, I got burnt out, man. So I got burnt on that. I was like, all right, I'm done with training. I'm done with being someone that's in health, like hands on. And then I got into sales, and I went to school for marketing, so I got into sales. And from there it was kind of funny. Like I was always calling back to getting back in towards health. And whenever I was doing imports and exports, and I was selling those services, one of my clients was Titan, which is another startup out of Atlanta. They We actually went on to like Shark Tank. We were selling fitness products basically. So went on to Shark Tank, got back into the whole fitness world that way, and then I started selling like medical products, and I built up a pretty good Rolodex of people in the whole healthcare space, man. So it's something that I tried to leave, and I just keep coming back to it because there's so many. I mean, there's such a need for a shift in how healthcare is done here in the U.S. So yeah.
No, you're right, man. And I think, and we have this conversation all the time. I mean, it's just a great industry to be being at this point. There are so many things happening. It's so dynamic, and it's just good to know that you're contributing to something. That actually you can help save lives, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So I want you to talk about Myosight.
Yeah. Man, so you know what? I got with Milesight out of just a need that I see like in the marketplace. So, like literally, I sell shockwave therapy devices to leading hospitals, sports teams, and it's great. And one of the things I notice is that people at some elite levels they get different care than what everyday people have access to. And so I partnered up with a couple of doctors. One's a chiropractor, one's a functional medicine guy, and we started these clinics up in LA, where we're offering some of these, services that are non-invasive, non-surgical, no drugs, but really high efficacy as far as outcomes for like patient outcomes, and we're offering them to everyday people. And so it's a membership-based way. It's like going to a gym for having a way that you can have access to some elite care. And so that's what we really started up. And I'm excited to bring it to Atlanta. And, to me, when I think about what's going on in the space, just to kind of piggyback on what you said, there's a huge opportunity in healthcare. I think that people that are outside the space don't fully understand what's happening, and it looks confusing because it is. but, but with that being said, is like, man, entrepreneurs are needed in this space, like an entrepreneur mindset, problem solvers, people that are looking for ways to streamline care. Because right now, it's clunky. Like you go to your doctor, sometimes you show up with your, insurance card, you throw it down, you might pay an actual copay, you don't know up until you get there, and then you get a bill back in the mail, right? And it's like, oh, okay, 2 grand for that visit, or 3 grand because I went to the hospital because something happened, right? Or even worse, honestly, like And so it's a very like fragmented, not transparent system. And I think that there's a big need to add transparency right to the market where people can know what they're going to pay up front, and preventative care. So you're not just sitting there waiting for things to happen to you, but you can get a jump on it, live optimal, have an overall better lifestyle, and really kind of know what's happening with your body all while you're aging up. Yeah.
I mean, you touch on a very important topic right there: preventative healthcare, and what we in a trend that we're seeing in healthcare right now. So there are a lot of preventative, healthcare clinics going up, because at the end of the day, I mean, if people want to be proactive in terms of their health,
Yeah.
right? They don't want to wait until they get a disease to treat it. They want to do the things before that so that they can stay healthy. And that's why for your company, I think it's important at this point. And maybe you could just talk to us more on in terms of your company.
Sure.
Why? How are some of the ways that you're helping medical practices or healthcare practitioners to be proactive or to help their patients?
Really good point. So pretty much my side, what we do is work inside medical practices. So we go inside medical practices and we offer these rehab services or a recovery-based membership. And so we do this by monitoring the actual patient's health. Everyone gets their own separate wristband. I mean, this is not this. I mean, this is my actual Apple Watch, but you can use a separate like wristband, monitor your actual sleep. So we have someone that looks at your actual sleep health, make sure that you're active on a regular basis. You get regular updates on that. And then when you come in, we also take you through a couple of our series of body work, basically, that a lot of these pro team athletes have access to that most people don't have any clue of what's going on, of what they're doing. Like, you really hear about things like LeBron spends like $1 million on his body. Really, now it's like 2 million. Russell Williams dropping like $1 million on his body, but what is he doing with that care, right? Well, he's doing things like PEMF, like he's doing things like shockwave therapy, and
Mhm.
they're doing things like breath work and even cold therapy and things that everybody could do. Like, you don't have to go so extreme with it. It could be something literally like better sleep, better nutrition, doing some breath work if you don't like meditation, because I'm not a meditation type of guy, but I do like stopping and pausing so I can monitor my actual breath. And I think there's things like that we want to get people access to that are going to the doctor anyway. So if you go to your doctor and you're just doing like an annual checkup, why not have a regular membership to where you can have somebody coach you through optimizing your health based off your goals?
Perfect. And you touched on some trends
Yeah.
today. So I want you to dive a little bit more in that and talk to our audience about some key trends you're seeing in healthcare today.
Yeah, man. So there's like so many, man. Honestly, like it's really hard to kind of keep up. But one obviously that is essential is sleep. And a lot of times people get into, hey, you got to have 8 hours of sleep or you got to have 9 hours of sleep. And there's a lot of different science coming out about what's the right optimal amount. And it's interesting because it's not only the amount of sleep, but it's when you sleep. And there's this thing when you can optimize your sleep. If you're like a go-getter, it's hard to tell somebody to say, hey, man, I'm gonna need you in the bed for 8 hours. It's hard to tell that guy that, right? Like, you got family, you got
Of course,
kids,
yeah.
you got things going on in your life, and like, hey, go home and sleep for 9 hours today. People don't really want to do that, but okay, fine. If you're not able to sleep now for 8 hours a day, well, let's move up your actual sleeping time. If we can get you in the bed by 8:30 or 9, sounds kind of early, right? But you can wake up earlier, right?
Mhm.
Because your body is really going to be lined more so with the actual sun going down, and you want to have that lined up more so, and then you get better, deeper REM sleep. So you get better quality. Maybe it's a little bit less, but your quality's still there, and that has been shown scientifically to have people, feel better and also have more longevity. Because that's really where this race is going, in my mind. Is really that it's not just about obviously not getting sick. I mean, yes, that's a biggie, but you want to feel good longer. Like, you don't want to just go through life and be stuck on, drugs and other medications throughout your life. You want to go through life feeling optimal. And so, how do we help people get to that space? And sleep is a big piece of it. Another one is finding out how to keep people moving.
Mhm.
Like, movement has been tied to longevity, hands down. People that are able to move, I mean, just walking, going through certain stretches, being able to get off the floor, being able to like not even do a pull-up, but just hang off a bar. Those are all really longevity tests that people should be doing to understand, like, okay, do I need more grip strength? Like, little things. You wouldn't kind of overlook them, but if you struggle to have grip strength, that's a sign of other things going on in your life. And so there's little monitors and little tests that I think that if our healthcare providers offered, for one, it would get us thinking differently about how we treat ourselves, but then also give us a roadmap about how we can get to there, more so get to that place of longevity, but also optimal living.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And one of the things, Joe, that is a trend, and I've seen it, and it's helping to improve your health is the whole Peloton and Mike's fitness, the bikes.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you. So
Are you on one?
yeah, I got a bike for the family
I love
because
it.
I mean, my thing was that my daughters, I wanted them to be more active,
Mhm.
and I realized that when we walk, they never wanted to walk and all that. So my strategy was to get the bike. So I got a bike, and then I have schedules for for them to get on the bike and to
Love
work
it.
out. So that is a form of proactive or preventative health measure, so that to boost your health, because instead of them on the game on Roblox or get some device or something all the time, they can get on the bike and do a 15-20 minutes, and that's my strategy.
I mean, man, honestly, bro, like I love it, man. I love it. I love it because I think too many times, especially as parents, I mean, and you have 3 kids. I'm just getting into the game of
Mhm.
of like just straight being a dad, but I can already see how this happens where you want to do it how we were raised, where it's like, man, you have to go outside and ride your bike. It's not the same unless you're, playing, soccer like in the field with everyone else. You're not doing it the way how we experienced it. We kind of discredit it. But a lot of times, man, there's a lot of tools out here that are innovative that kids want to get into that are good for the whole family to kind of really take part in. You guys can have the whole leaderboard. You can talk
Mhm.
stuff in the whole kitchen about, hey, I
There you
beat
go.
you this week, right? I mean, like,
No, and the thing is, we're on that because
yeah.
one of the things that we're having, whoever spend the most time on the bike, in terms of actually burning whoever burned the most calories. Well,
Mhm.
obviously I would burn the most, but we have different measurements, right?
Yeah.
And par calorie score, right? So
Yep.
whoever like improve it by a specific percentage will like give some incentives, or I'll give my daughter something.
Yeah.
So I try to incentivize them also to get on the bike and work out, because Jordan, and you know this. I mean, it's always good to have optimal health, and the aim is for us to live longer and be more healthy, and incorporate fitness as a part of our life. So that's what it's all about.
I mean, man, one of the keys to what I think is really going to help us allow us to gain some traction in like a different way is the fact that it is about community, though. It's about being in relationship with people, like how
Mhm.
you're talking about with your family, and you guys are like looking at what's the amount of percentage that I increase versus like going back and forth because everybody's lifestyle is different, but you can work off those percentiles and say, okay, my
Mhm.
percentile went up by 5%, even though I'm 200 pounds and you're only 100
Mhm.
pounds, I'm still beating you because I'm doing
Right.
more workload, right? I mean, that to me is the glue behind how I think people are healthy because it's very difficult and you'll be hard pressed to find this. And there's this one research study that I've been posting all over LinkedIn a couple times, the fact that people being lonely. Loneliness is at the heart or the root of a lot of these illnesses, man. Like when you look at why does someone get into a funk and get into a place where they just don't want to work out, they don't want to move, they're mentally drained, and a lot of times if you look at their overall environment, it doesn't have a lot of people that are healthy in it. It doesn't have a lot of people that they can call on, right? And so I think bringing people into that process with you is crucial to really having that success and having that longevity because it's not about doing it for a season or for the summer or to look at a moment. It's about taking people along this journey with you and helping them become healthier in the process.
Of course, and that's
Mhm.
why people would like to go to a gym, because
Yes,
they like to go there and see other people working out. So it's always good to have some sort of motivation to work out, and that's and that's how the incentives would play a big part.
100%, man. I mean, man, and, just talking to all my entrepreneurs out there who might be actually tuning in, it's like think about what's happening in fitness and think about what's happening in like medical. And there's not a lot of bridges, and we need more bridges. right? Like what's in between, right? Either you're extremely healthy and you're getting after it and you look great and you got your discipline, you got your routine, or you're like going to the doctor and you're trying to figure out how what type of medication, how you up your dosage. Because once you get in that realm, it's hard to get off that track sometimes. And so like trying to find the opportunities where you can combine medical and fitness, or at least bridge the gap to allow people to kind of go from, being in this crucial medical place to getting into more healthier states, or vice versa. I mean, like, I think that's where the game is once it comes to healthcare. And something that we always joke about is the marketing piece, man. Like the marketing and the messaging, man. I mean, like, I really hope that we can get better at this, bro. Like, we're gonna need your help so we can do it, though, man.
Well, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
But Joe, for our audience, maybe we have a podiatrist or a chiropractor. They're watching, and I know they are your target market.
Yeah.
I want you to walk us through your process for a new doctor.
Yeah.
Say you're bringing a doctor on board. What are the steps that they have to go through?
Yeah. So it's really simple, honestly, is that one, are they looking for a separate model to implement into their practice that will increase retention rates at the practice, as well as drive a separate revenue stream as far as a membership model? Because everything that we do is based off subscription. So if they are looking for that, then we find the right tools based off the practice. If you're, a DPM, it's going to look a bit different than your actual sports chiropractor, but those models are still pretty similar as far as the different devices that we bring in. So we normally bring in 2 or 3 pieces of devices that are going to help your actual patients, one, just stay moving, which is crucial to everything we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're dealing with knee pain or arthritis, that's what people don't want to get out of bed and start going for a walk with. If you have arthritic knees, it's less likely that you're going to want to get up and go for a walk around the block or anything, right? So we help try to manage those pains using like shockwave therapy, PEMF. Those are just 2 of the products, and then we also monitor it on as well for them. But it really starts if the medical doctor or the medical director is saying, "Hey, I want to implement more of a preventative type of membership model," and that's whenever we actually had that conversation with them. Yeah.
Okay. So in essence, then you work with a healthcare practitioner to design the best service for patients.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, this is where it gets interesting, though, right? Because even though there'll be like little shifts here and there, it's pretty much the same. Like people need sleep, right? People need to burn a certain amount of energy. I don't get into too much of the nutritional piece yet because that could be kind of clouded. There's different reasons for different people that eat different ways. If you're dealing with diabetes versus kidney actual issues, then that's 2 separate meal plans. So I don't really touch too much of that piece of it. But everybody needs to move and everybody needs sleep, and that's where we start. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I think it's a great service you're offering there, and I think any healthcare practitioner watching this, they should definitely speak with you. So Joe, we're in the greatest pandemic of all time, and what we've seen, we have new strains all over the place, right? How has this pandemic impacted your business?
You know what, man? It's really opened the gate for us to be a lot more thoughtful about how we go about building it. Because originally it was just, okay, look, you just buy the actual devices, you do it on your own. And that's literally what I did for the past 6 years. I would go around to clinics, sell them actual products, and then some people, this is what happened. Some people would thrive off of it. And like I had several people like, hey, man, having XYZ products really helped keep my practice booming throughout the whole pandemic. Other people, they're struggling. And I'm like, why are some people booming with it and others struggling? And the research is there, the actual data is there, the outcomes are there. So it's not the actual products and using it for the right use cases. But if you're doing that, then it's going to work. But like it's a system and it's the marketing and the messaging that you put out is really the real game changer. Like how you brand your actual clinic makes and breaks this thing. Like if you are still calling yourself somebody that just only deals with heel spurs, right? And you know how a lot of these clinics, market, they market off the actual, pain condition. That's not speaking towards preventative measures.
Nope.
That's not speaking towards someone that's in a good place that maybe just wants to live more optimal. So you have to rebrand that actual piece. And that's a big part of what has been the real shift during the past year is that we're not just getting into, hey, here's a product, good luck, Hopefully it works for you. Now it's like, look, we have a system. Take our system. We have the right branding for it. Go with this messaging. That's going to help you guys get your patients into the membership and really help you be successful.
No, you're spot on. And even with my clients, you definitely have to reinvent yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's not when you have an adverse situation, and you have to reinvent yourself and try to build on the positives and see how you can turn things around. So that's why something like telemedicine and telehealth, during this year, some of my clients say, we run ads more on that service, because I mean, people are at home, so it's an avenue for them to drive growth. And
Yes.
these are some of the things that you have to do in a situation like this.
And I mean, and like you know what's so funny about it too, and this is the blessing during this past year, even though it's been super challenging for a lot of people and crazy as well. The blessing or the whole silver lining in this space is that it's challenging people to wake up to the common sense problems that we had, like telehealth, something that we should have did like 10 years ago. Like it's been
Exactly.
here, it's been here, and it's like, why am I going to go to an office, go out my way, go fight through traffic, sit down in some bland office space for 15, 20 minutes, wait for the doctor to get there, when I could just say, hey, when the doctor's ready, we'll hop on, take 30 minutes of my time. Now I don't waste 2 hours of my day. Like it's a no-brainer play, right? I mean, so yeah, I mean, that is one of the actual beauties of what happened last year, is that it forced people to be more creative, but also cut through a lot of the junk that we're doing. Like, man, look, we can solve certain problems doing this over Zoom, over like, you know, what is this? Like, what is this?
StreamYard or any
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
platforms.
Doesn't matter, but it could be done virtually. It doesn't have to be done at your actual desk. Yeah.
Okay. That's great, man. Joe, I want you, because I know that you're a business development specialist, right? I want you to. I know we always talk about the winning this big deal, or being all successful by doing business development. I want you to talk to us about what are some of the pains in business development from a healthcare perspective.
Man, honestly, one of the biggest pains that I see a lot of my clients deal with is that they're so busy stuck inside their clinic, and they don't get out and do what me and you did at the whole conference and just meet strangers, man. Meet strangers, talk to people that are right around the corner from them. There's so many people that would love to connect with them at local gyms,
Mhm.
at studios, at laundromats. You'd be surprised. Like all these local small businesses. And that's how I want to challenge lots of my clients, the way they think about themselves more as, hey man, you're a part of this community, like, and you need to be like the mayor of your 3 to 5 mile radius. Like, there shouldn't be too many businesses that don't know about you within three to
Mhm.
five miles, right? Because that's what people are really willing to actually travel. Some will travel more, of course, if you have more specialties, but really owning your actual backyard, I think is something that I think people need to do more of. And when it comes to business development, it's just literally going out and making those right relationships, meeting those right people. Challenge yourself to have an extra conversation a week. I know it's scary to people, but look, man, people are just like you. You have an actual business, and the more that they get to know you and they can feel comfortable working with you, they're going to refer people, and they even know who you are, and they know how to refer people. So yeah, it's something that I always get on lots of my clients about. I'm like, man, do you, do you even know the guy who's like across the street? If you don't, I'm on you about it, man. Because it's too important.
No, it's very important in this day and age. Even something like video. I'm just encouraging my clients to do more videos.
Yes.
Just do like a tip of the day or a tip of the week or something. Because as a healthcare practitioner, I mean, prospective patients, our patients, they want to see you. They want to see you in not just doing actually surgery. They want to
Yes.
see you in a relaxed environment and get to know you more, and because that's what's going to build that bond and strengthen that relationship that you're talking about. So fantastic points in terms of getting out there and try to be in the community.
Man, 100%. I mean, man, and just to add one more other like tip to it is that I think LinkedIn is one of the most underrated places for healthcare providers. One, there's not a lot of messaging going on. If you go onto Facebook and Instagram, I mean, healthcare providers can say less and less there because everything with COVID, of course.
Mhm.
So they really kind of lock that down. But with that being said, everyone's there, and where everybody is, you're going to be like in that bloody water type of like, you know, territory. But there's blue ocean space on LinkedIn, man. LinkedIn is a place you can go meet other professionals that are in your community. Like, here's one strategy, and I think somebody should do this. And I'm already running a couple of tests with this with our actual pods, and you should help people out with this too, Andre. Is that literally you look across the street, you do an ad campaign for the companies that are within your actual small, 3 to 5 mile radius on LinkedIn, right? You target those companies that have good health insurance, right? Like if there's a big Fortune 100, Fortune 500 company, they probably got better health insurance. You target those companies, doing an ad campaign to them, inviting them into your clinic, or you reach out to them just cold DMs on LinkedIn. I mean, I think that it is just not enough people are doing it. I'm sure somebody's doing it, but not nearly enough. And it's just wide open space that I think people should really press into, and finding out what companies are in their actual territory, company size. People don't go to the office much anymore, but they probably live close to the office. And so therefore you can still target them. They have a job, which is a one up.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about the company, they might have good health insurance. Anybody that's coming into your clinic who's also working at those places, that's your plug right there. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of say that because I think it's something that people aren't spending enough time doing, and it could really change some people's businesses for them.
No, of course. That I think that's a great point, and that's why healthcare practitioners need to speak with you, because those are some good strategies to so that they can actually to grow their business. And Joe, man, I can't believe the time is running out, man. We have been on this for a while. I mean, and it's we could go on and on.
Always,
the
bro. Always.
is always good, man. It's always good. So I know we touched on the family a little bit. I know you post a video about your son, and you're talking about happiness. Talk to us about fatherhood. What are some of the pros and cons as a new dad?
man, you know what? I really want to ask you this too, bro, because it's a beautiful thing, man. Fatherhood is amazing. It's a blessing to be able to be entrusted to raise somebody. So I don't take that lightly at all. With that being said, from managing it from a business standpoint, and knowing like how much time to kind of put in, how do you kind of go back and forth to make sure that you're spending enough time with your kid to also spend time growing your business, because you know how it is. Like running these businesses aren't like a part-time job, right?
Nope.
So having that juggle has been a beast, man. But it's funny because I've been taking this thing in where I'm just taking them along for the ride with me. I'm gonna let him experience it. I'm gonna let him see some of it, and not that he'll be unable to understand what's happening and all that. But I think in 2022, it's just that I think all the walls are down. I think people are doing podcasts at home. People know that they're doing interviews in the bedroom or wherever else is going on. So it's like, if you're going to let people in your life, you might as well let them in, and just, I mean, obviously keep your things for yourself. You don't have to give away everything, but with that, let's kind of shine back, man. So that's my thoughts on it. But how do you feel about it?
No, same way here, man. Same way here. When it comes to family, that's super important to me. Family time there's nothing gonna take away from that.
Yeah.
Even if I have a stressful day, I have different projects, different deadlines, I have to get family time. As I mentioned to you earlier, my middle child, she plays soccer. So, I mean, we have to be traveling, all over the place. She has soccer practice in the week. And I just schedule things around it, because the thing is, Joe, you can never get back these moments.
That's right.
You can never get back these moments. So I'm not going to make the business or any phone call, any meeting or anything of that take away this moment. I could always postpone that meeting or make another deal. Mm-hmm. But in terms of these are precious moments for your kids. They're going to remember these moments for the rest of their lives. Just think back when we were kids, and just the little thing that our mom or our dads did. As an adult now, we could say, "Oh, I remember when my dad used to, take me for ice cream on a Sunday. Take me out here and take me to a ball game." And those are some of the precious moments. So we have to just, focus on what is important, and family is everything. And you're right, man. Our my family has to be a part of whatever I'm doing.
I love that, man. I mean, man, honestly, as you're even talking, and I already know that we're about to wrap up, man, is that like I think about this one moment though, and it maybe only happened 5 times. And my dad worked for the same company as a engineer for almost about 20 years, right? And I went to his place like 5 times, but I remember every visit. Like, you know what I mean? Like he worked downtown in Pittsburgh. I remember the
Yep,
building, but I remember
yep.
like him taking me into the office, showing me that all those different servers, and I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. But like it only happened a couple times. I'm like, man,
Yep.
I want to recreate that a lot for my kids, just so they know what's going on throughout the world. Not that it's going to
Mhm.
move them, or they're going to do it. They probably, I mean, hopefully he wants to do whatever he wants to do. So that's on him. But at least kind of take him along for the journey so he can kind of experience it, all of it together, man. So
Yeah, and time flies. They grow so fast. You
that's
know,
what everyone's telling me.
in a short period of time, man, they're off to college, and you're empty nester, and you're like, oh,
Hey,
what
well,
happened here?
look, he's just now walking, so I can't wait till whenever he's driving and like handles his own business, man. I'm looking forward to the moment. Hopefully, I just stay the same age.
Man, well, all right, buddy. All right, so let's wind up. But I typically ask guests this, and I put you in a spot here. If you
Sure.
could tell us one thing that you need to work on more
Hmm,
that you have been putting off, what would
hmm.
that be?
Man, that's a really good one, man.
You
I
can,
would
you can
say
think a little bit.
no, you know what? This one's right on top because I've been talking to my wife about doing this more, and it's just what we just talked about, being present. It's like, man, when it's time to be present, phones off. If we're watching TV, then we're watching TV. If we're going for a walk, then we're going for a walk. If we're working, then we're working. But just making the moment and making the most of every moment, I should say, is something that definitely is on top priority for me, man.
Oh, fantastic, man. Great answer. And that's what life is all about, man. Embracing the moments and making memories. But Joe, it has been fantastic, man. As usual,
Yeah.
whenever we talk, man, it's it can go on, forever, because
Always,
we just
bro.
always we have so much so many things in common. So it was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for jumping on the show. And before you leave, I want you to tell our audience, how can we reach you, or if a doctor, healthcare practitioner listening and they want to connect, how can we connect with you?
100%, man. Well, I mean, look, first and foremost, man, you have to hit up Marlo's one time because Marlo's is my spot too. So I'll have to go
We're
there,
gonna make
grab
it
a bite or
happen.
something. Okay, gotta make that happen. But if anybody wants to link up with me, they can go reach me at joe@myosite.com. That's MYOSYTE.com. You can go to myosite.com and you can kind of see what we're up to a little bit. But literally, we have a whole separate franchise coming out just for the actual pod. So you guys just have to stay in touch for that, man. But Andre, as always, man, I appreciate you having me on the show. It's been great talking as always.
I appreciate you too, man, and we'll talk soon.
Love it.